Hey, what's going on?
Nothing much. Happy Christmas Eve.
Happy Christmas Eve.
I love that color on you. It's so pretty. Well,
Oh, thank you.
handsome. Sorry, handsome.
No worries. I knew what you meant. No worries.
Oh
So what's going
my God.
on? How's everything?
Ugh, I'm so tired, but don't be mad. I only got to watch Salt Lake City and Johannesburg, but I will get to Cheshire this weekend. I
No worries.
promise.
I mean, yeah, we can do Cheshire next week once we. But I only got through. I'm on the second episode now, so I just got done with that. So yeah, we have time.
Okay. Phew. All right.
Yeah, it's because it's like 6 episodes. I think we have six. They're episode 6 right now, so we have time.
Okay. All righty. I just couldn't.
It was a
I was
lot.
bone tired
Mhm.
yesterday. And I was actually grateful that All About the Tea canceled their show last night, or
Mhm.
else I wouldn't have made it.
Right. No, I got you. I completely understand.
Yeah.
But Salt Lake
Okay.
City was not bad last night. It was very. I found it very interesting. You could see some
It
cracks.
was,
You can see some cracks.
yeah. And okay, it didn't have any like major fireworks like
No.
Jen going off or anything like that, but the story's building.
Yeah.
The story's building and characters are being developed, but just two for me,
Okay.
Whitney and Heather. Like their character development is really progressing. And I think Whitney at the beginning, I thought she was just gonna be like an airhead,
Hmm.
but for someone who's like 30 something years old, like she's the smartest out of all of these women.
If we really think about it, Whitney's gone through a lot.
Hmm.
Like she's really had to start her whole life over.
Hmm.
So she's taking more of the approach like this is where I am, this is who I am, I'm cool. And she
Yeah.
doesn't go along with. I like the fact that she doesn't go along with everybody's BS. She's like, no, this is what it is. This is how I see it, and that's it. And you got a glimpse of that at was it Mary's luncheon?
Hmm.
Where Mary's like,
Yeah.
she's like, I'm talking. No, I'm talking. I'm like, okay, yeah. There's you have something to me. I enjoy her.
Hmm.
Totally enjoy her scenes. I feel like they're the most authentic. But like, I will say this for me. Last night episode where there was no huge moments, I felt this episode was way better than the episode who did have those quote unquote explosive moments. Because
Yeah.
like you said, you hit it right on the head. It's building, and you can see some cracks.
I see a lot of cracks with Meredith.
Hmm.
Um, and I see question marks with Lisa.
Oh, we don't get into that because that caught me completely off guard. I was like, ma'am. And I kept looking at what's his name, John's face. I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
I was like, John, you all right? You
I
okay, John?
I can't even say at this point in their marriage that he's even an accessory. He's like an afterthought at this point for her. Um, I just had a lot of questions after seeing the scenes that we saw of Lisa.
Hmm.
Um, who else is on this show? Oh, Jen.
Heather.
Well, Heather and Whitney, I thoroughly enjoyed
Okay,
this episode. Um, Mary was there for all of 5 nanoseconds, so
right.
I I wondered about that. Like, does she have nothing to give this series?
No, I think what it is, they realized it was Mary heavy the first couple episodes, and with the controversy around, they can't have too much of her on the screen.
Really? Then what's
Yeah,
the excuse with Jen? Because I find it to be Jen heavy.
I mean,
Uh,
it's Gen heavy because of the drama she brings. That's pretty much all it really is.
or because she screams the loudest.
Well, that's so. Where do you want to start?
um,
Do you want to go scene, or you want to go by character?
I don't know. What do you want?
I mean, for me, I think it's easy to go character by character,
Okay.
and we can recap the show that way.
Okay.
You
So
know
who
what
do
I
you want
mean?
to start with?
Me personally, we could start. Let's start with Whitney.
Whitney. Okay. So, what did we see with her? We saw her with Heather, giving Heather some really good advice.
Hmm.
Um, what I thought, like, I really see her as like a mentor for Heather, and here's why. She's got 10 plus years of being shunned or banished or whatever.
Hmm.
So she's had a
Excommunicated.
decade. Yes, she's had a
Hmm.
decade to like come to terms with how she was raised, how their religion places expectations, well, different expectations on men versus women, you
Hmm.
know, and she's come to the part of her life where she just wants to live her life and be the best her possible, and not hurt anybody in the process. And Heather is like what, 3 4 years after her divorce,
Hmm.
and it seems like she's getting stuck, and she's letting the guilt and like suck her down. And I'm
Hmm.
so grateful that she has someone like Whitney around her to tell her that, you know, it's going to be okay. You have to love
Right.
yourself first so that, you know, you can love somebody else and allow them to love you back. And
Exactly.
yeah, and that gave her the courage to have that open and honest conversation, like with her kids. But I won't delve
Yeah.
into that. I just appreciated Whitney so much this episode for being a true friend.
And family members who didn't remember their cousins.
Yes. Yeah.
You know, the interesting thing for me was the fact that Whitney gave her that great advice, but we also have to remember Whitney has always questioned her upbringing. She's always questioned, like, is this right? Is this for me? And she did it. She said it in a couple episodes ago, as a teenager.
Hmm.
So she's kind of like never really felt the like she felt the need to do it because of her family, but she never felt to really live up to it for herself. Whereas
Hmm.
Heather feels the need to do it for herself and her family. So that's where her struggle is. And Whitney made a choice. So for her marriage, you know, she cheated. She made a choice to take control of her life. With
Yeah.
Heather, that choice was made for her. So it's even more hurtful and more damning, and because
Hmm.
she's not communicated, she's just divorced. But with Heather, we discussed this last show, I think. Her friends look down upon her because, oh, he left you.
Hmm.
What did you do? Like, what did you do to mess that up? Like, to be divorced by a man out of that family, like, whoa, like, what did you do? I bet you people are like, well, Heather must have done something wrong. Like, otherwise, why would he leave her?
Well, you know what? I also think she carries a heavy burden because her husband left her. Okay, you
Yeah.
take it out on her, but it was also impacting her kids.
Oh, yeah.
Like certain families wouldn't allow their kids to play with her kids. Her kids had nothing to do with the marriage other than being a byproduct of the marriage.
Exactly.
They, like, the father didn't divorce the kids. Like, from what she says, he stayed being a father. He financially provided for all of
Oh,
them, not just the kids,
I think
all of them.
I think and continues to do so.
Mhm. Yep.
So,
He was okay with her starting her own business, probably
mhm,
gave her funds for it too. Like, he seems it seems like, yeah, he was probably pushed into this marriage just like how Heather was, but he came to a point where he wanted out. He was done. It wasn't what he wanted. I wish Heather could get to that space and stop feeling like she's disposable.
well, she feels like a failure, and that's all it really was. Because the way people
Hmm.
treat her, like it's your fault. What did you do?
It's
Like
how
you
she
had.
treats herself.
Hmm.
Because if you treat yourself like a failure, you open the door to allow other people to treat you like a failure.
That's a fair point, and she's
Hmm.
felt like no one would want her. Like, well, ma'am, I mean, it's easy to say looking outside, like, well, you didn't want to marry him anyway, but you invested so much time, so much effort,
Yeah.
3 children. I mean,
Mhm.
I completely understand, but it's not like she never really opened up about that and how she was really feeling. And this is like that first time. And we call this like from the beginning of this show, like, this is
Mhm.
probably, after we did our research, like, this is probably what she's feeling, what she's going through. We don't know, but this is where it seems like it's going. And now it's coming out. And she never,
Mhm.
I think she just needed to let that out to feel better about herself. So she knows, like, she's not a bad person. Like, you're not a bad person. You did what you thought you was right for your family and your quote unquote legacy. It didn't work out. You both
Yeah.
probably weren't really in the marriage, like, for like the best of reasons. You probably both just did it for your families, because your families are Mormon royalty, so it just made sense that you guys would be together. He just pulled the plug a little bit sooner because he didn't feel such a tie to duty being a male.
Yeah.
Where,
And he
where,
he probably moved on.
yeah, he probably moved on. He probably just like, dude, I can't do this no more. Our kids are
Mhm.
old enough to understand, like, gotta go.
Yeah.
And she just never got over the fact of she's divorced. Like, she's okay being divorced because I'm sure she's happier, but she always looks at the longer term, like, oh my gosh, like, why did it affect my children? Like, I don't mind.
Mhm.
Like, she didn't mind being like taking the flack for herself, but she it just hurt her kids, and that's what really hurt her.
How did you what were your thoughts on how she rationalized her little booty call with Curtis? I loved it
She
though.
had me roll. She cracks me up. She's like, you know what? It is what it is. And this is like her kind of being more comfortable, being more open with how she really feels. And I was so happy that
Mhm.
to see that side of her. I'm like, you know, ma'am, it's a thing, it's a thing. It is what it is at this point. You're single, you're finding your way, like, you're finding Heather and what Heather really wants. Like, go do your thing. I'm just happy for her.
Mhm. She was like, "It was never gonna be a grand affair." Like, he lives in Atlanta.
Atlanta and
Hello?
LA.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm
He
good.
he scratched the itch. That was it. I loved
Right.
it. I loved it. But I just didn't want her to come out of that feeling any shame
Right.
of going after something that she's attracted to. Go like we all have our preferences, and I got the feeling like this church made her feel ashamed of her preferences. If you
Well,
like you some little Curtis, go get him.
but the church has certain quote unquote rules, so, which are kind of archaic. So that's why she was feeling some sort of way. But now she's like, look, I'm good now. We gonna get what we get. Cause she ran down all the rules, so that Lisa, like, you don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do this, you do this. It's like, yeah,
Mhm.
oh, I'm not sure how that means, but I'm okay with having some like guidelines, but to tell me I can't, what? Yeah,
Yeah.
we just gonna sneak around and do it. You ain't gonna know about it,
Yep.
or you
Mhm.
go out of town to like Provo or somewhere. One of the
Oh my
places.
god. Oh, I caught a bit of Adam earlier, and London girl, London lady, when she was talking, and she made a comment regarding Heather's girls and that family meeting that they had.
Hmm.
And then if you compare it to um, Real Housewives of OC, Shannon
Hmm.
talking to her girls about catching COVID.
Hmm.
The difference, as she said, was chalk and cheese. I hadn't heard that expression in eons,
What
but
was
it
it? I
was
missed it. Cut out
so
a little bit. What was this phrase?
so. The comparison between Shannon having that conversation with her 3 daughters
Hmm.
and then Heather having her conversation with her three
Right.
daughters, the care and compassion and the love that came from Heather's daughters, as opposed to the indifference and callousness, and at one point impatience from Shannon's daughters.
Hmm.
I was struck by the difference, and they're around the same age group.
Well, it's because you tend to take on the characteristics of your parents. So Heather's kids have her sensibilities, while Shannon's girls have her sensibility. Because
Oh
Shannon acts the
Lord.
same way at the core. Same
That's
way.
very true.
When
That's
she deals with
very,
other
very
people,
true.
Shannon like is no longer like the Dr. Moon, nine oranges in the bowl, like holistic type person. Now she's kind of whiny and impatient with people whose problems she doesn't really want to listen to. So Shannon's impatient as well. So her girls are gonna be impatient because that's what they've seen. Like, okay, just spit it out. What you gotta say? Okay, I really don't care about listening to you. That's really how Shannon is. And I was a Shannon fan. And I was a Shannon fan when she came in. I'm like, okay, Shannon, I see you. I like you. But then, like after her divorce, she just went kind of almost down the tubes. Yeah.
Well, I liked Shannon when she first came in because she was one of those, cash money housewives with a big old house and all
She
of
was
these
fun though.
like eccentricities. She was fun. Um, but then she got divorced and had to be on a budget. So
Well,
she changed.
not really. She didn't have to be on a budget because she had the money in a relationship, but she just never talked about it. That's what people really forget. Shannon comes from money, like some good money, from what I understand. So she never spoke about her money. Like you on the show, you really heard her speak about her maiden name until the divorce was happening. So
Hmm.
she came from money. And David, while they were going through their issues, he even told her, he's like, well, I don't think you love me because I don't make enough money. And she's like, I've never held that against you. I've never said
Hmm.
that. And from what I've heard in other chats and stuff, apparently Shannon's parents invested in David's company.
Yeah, I remember that.
And
Yeah.
then the judge made a ruling on child support, and she said, "Well, no." Knowing his financial situation, she said, "Well, can we do less?"
Hmm.
So Shannon's not on no budget. Shannon just doesn't
Well,
care. Go ahead.
why I say she's on a budget, like she never had to worry about that before because I got a feeling like somebody else always took care of the household expenses and the credit cards and stuff like that.
Oh,
Now
you're doing
she's
it
out on
herself.
her own.
Doing it
Yes.
herself. I
Yes.
got
And now
okay.
she's seeing the inflow and outflow of funds.
Right.
She has to get money coming in. So she got the deal with HSN or QVC with the food
QVC.
things. Now she's investing in a vitamin shot or something. Like she now has to do this. And
Right.
I think she was like a lady of leisure before.
I think David. I think what she was actually what a real housewife was. If we're being
Mhm.
completely honest. David had, the husband had the business, the family had the money. So she's like, I'm good. I
Mhm.
take care of our girls. Now
Yep.
David's business, like she didn't really need that money, but now now she understands she needs to do something for herself and her
Mhm.
daughters just as backup. So she's investing wisely, which I like. I like seeing that. Like, but I wish she would tone down just a little bit of the
Whininess.
yes.
She's very clingy to this new boyfriend.
Yeah, he'll leave soon. But after, okay, so we covered Heather and Whitney.
Uh-huh.
I guess we
Yeah.
can touch on Jen.
Yes.
Jen, for me, like I like her at her core. What I don't like is she stays mad too long over little things. Like if you're
Mhm.
having, um, can you drop the link for Ebony? I guess, I think.
So you're ready to drop the
Yeah,
link
might as well.
now?
We
Yep.
can drop the link.
Okie dokie.
So
Mhm.
I think what it is that if you have an issue with Meredith,
Mhm.
go talk to Meredith. Stop putting Meredith's business out there like that. Go talk to your friend.
Mhm.
Say that, like, hey, this is how I'm feeling. Like, this is where I was coming from. Do it 101, not in a group. You don't allude to things behind her back. It's rude and it's inappropriate.
Jen is just petty. And when she dropped those comments at Whitney's house, Whitney was like, "What the hell are you insinuating? And you better have proof to back this up because those are
Right.
some hefty charges."
I
And
mean,
thank
mhm.
God Whitney didn't follow her down that rabbit hole of minutia because you don't want to get caught up in that mess once it blows.
Well, Whitney's already been there. She knows. Like, even though she was having the affair, she
Mm-hmm.
knows. She's been there. She's like, this is not a good thing for someone to go through.
Yeah,
So she was not. She was not. She was like, I'm not doing it with you. You're not gonna go back
yeah.
and say what I said and I say what you said. That's what would happen with Jen. She's that type of person. She'll go back and tell
What
somebody, well, she'll go back and you guys can have a conversation. She's gonna go back and tell the person, well, this is what Whitney said, blah 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 blah, but she won't say what she said.
what did you think about uh Jen disclosing that after her father passed, like emotionally, she wasn't 100% there. She was put on medication. Then her family said, "We don't take medication, brush it off." I think that's what Coach said. And
Hmm.
then they had to come to her and say, the outbursts are too much. Like, you need to go back on the medication.
I mean, I think it was good. It was she, and I think I mentioned this earlier shows where I think Jen's dad was like her male rock figure, so to speak. So when she lost him, she lost that. So she just naturally expected Sharif to fill that void, but due to his job, he's not being as emotionally stable for her as she needs. Like I
Mm-hmm.
guess it's more the quantity of anything. To have her really, I have a feeling like her and her dad was the type to talk maybe every day, every other day, like get together like a couple times a week. I kind of feel they had a relationship if he lived close because they seem to be so close, and she seems so devastated by his passing. Like he must have really been her rock, like her true emotional support, and Sharif is not giving that to her, which is what she needs.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, what else happened with her?
I think that was the
They
main.
had the dinner with Meredith
Mhm.
and Heather. I thought she was being a little messy there as
Oh yeah,
well.
she was being messy. She was setting up the okey doke. We saw that.
Okay. What else did she do? She went to the stripper pole thing, she went to dinner, and then she got her coaching session on the phone. Is it fair to say that coach lives in her phone?
But we've seen him in person though, so we can't say he lives on the phone.
We saw Jamal at the birthday party on the boat
Well,
and in a car.
Sharif has a real job though, so
Wait,
he,
Jamal has still has his job. He's a pastor.
I said a real job. To me, I see the church as like a huge like kind of scheme. I'm sorry, I just do.
Okay, I'm not saying I
But I don't think he. I think for him, but I think for Sharif, he really doesn't want to be involved too much with the show, given
Mhm.
his status and where he coaches.
Mhm.
Because he doesn't coach it. So he doesn't coach at some like little rinky dink community college.
Right.
He coaches at the University of Utah, so he can't be all
Right.
out there like that. Like, sir, we know your wife, but we can't have you out there looking like that.
So what do we think about what else did Jen do? I don't Oh, wait, I made a note here. Okay. At the very beginning of the episode when Brooks has his fashion show,
I
Jen
was about to say that.
comments,
I was just about to say that.
they're all the same, meaning all the track suits or what do you call them?
Designs or
Joggers.
whatever, tracksuits, whatever
They're
you want to call
all the same. And it was just Brooks coming out and then
them.
five guys or
Jogging
girls
behind him,
behind him.
jogging as he walked
They're
like he was in the
all the
military.
same. Ay, ay, ay. So yeah, that.
Let's talk about
Oh,
let's talk about that.
but
Let's
wait,
talk
there
about that.
was
Go ahead.
something else that happened at that fashion show. When Mary came in and sat down next to Jen, she was like, "Oh, you look pretty," and Jen ignored her.
Yeah, Jen just looked her up and down like, mm. I was like, come on, Jen, let's not be like that. I was like, that's just so sad. But let's talk about Brooks. Here's the thing. I'm all for entrepreneurship. I
Mhm.
really am. But seeing them tracksuit up close again with his
Mhm.
name ironed on, I'm like, really? You were walking in a fashion show for a design with your name ironed on it. And why are you calling your line? Why are you self-titling your line?
Because it looks cute with the double KS. I don't know.
It's
Took me
stupid.
15 minutes to figure that out.
It's stupid. What he should have done is this. What you do is, if you're gonna do that, you
Mhm.
make it call your line uh, Brooks by Brooks Marks. Do that. Then you make your logo out of your initials. If you're gonna put your name on your clothing, I would have used B and M and made a cool like logo pattern, like maybe the B and the M overlocking, and then you pattern that into the tracksuit versus having it ironed
Or
on the tracksuit.
even, or even, like if he was so fascinated by the KS, why couldn't he do KS squared?
Yeah, something cute.
Yeah, I
And
think,
put the KS squared on it. So,
yeah.
yeah, like that was just like them iron on patches was killing me. I'm sorry. I don't care how people feel about it. They look like they were that like his name was just ironed on last minute because it looked like I'm not sure if you guys saw this, but to me it looked like what was supposed to be stitching was raising a little bit.
Oy, oy, oy.
Like it wasn't sitting like on the fabric like it was sewn or stitched in. It literally looked like there was raising, like it was raising off the fabric.
Well, if they're samples, they're probably not going to be perfect and they were probably rushed because maybe he was a last minute inclusion into this as a favor to his mom.
But they shouldn't be lifted though. And if you're
Mm.
selling them, you shouldn't be sending samples down the line.
Yeah, and she said that they were sold out.
I was like,
How?
where?
They sold all 6 of those sweatsuits?
Right.
That's it?
Exactly. Like you ain't got no mass orders for that. Ain't nobody trying to see that. Come on now.
I do want his lip gloss though. It's a really pretty shade.
Shut up.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that
There's
was so
nothing wrong
bad.
with
I
that.
was like, ooh. And
Whitney looked
Meredith, but
But Whitney looked really, really pretty in her little dress going
right.
down the runway. Meredith, I hate to say this, but when I first saw her in her outfit, I thought we were seeing her Spanx underneath. It just looked a little bit odd, and I thought that she was too mature of a woman to be wearing that outfit.
Yes, I would agree with that. It was a little too, yeah, it was a little too young for her.
And something else that Blavi, I think it was a Blavi who said this. I just noticed it in this episode. I felt like her hair was dirty throughout the entire episode.
Mm,
She did not bring her best looks
Meredith,
wise.
Meredith, no. But they was, but they were supposed to help Meredith out backstage anyway, so I'm not gonna fault her for that. It's your son's fashion show. Like the mom should be looking the best out of everybody.
Do you
Like
have any comments on
y'all,
Meredith?
y'all supposed to fly in the glam squad. For Meredith, I'm sorry. They not working right now. Y'all could have flown her in, but anyway.
Do
Meredith. I mean, not really, because it's just I don't know what's up with her because she's just in a funky place right now. Like she's she's unhappy. Like she wants her husband there for her kids, but
mhm,
also for herself. They just have some severe communication issues,
mhm,
and I
mhm,
think it comes down mostly to neither one of them giving in. And
mhm,
Seth wants to move them to Ohio. She's sick of moving. She's building a business, and I understand that. It's just like there's no middle ground with them, particularly with him.
mhm,
I blame him a little bit more than her because she's done the sacrifices. She's moved every couple of years for him, and now that she's like building something for herself, he's not being supportive. But she's not telling him that he's not being supportive. she's
Mhm.
saying like, we're not communicating, blah blah blah. She's never told him like, look, you're not supporting me in my business and in my hopes and my dreams and what I want to do. I've supported you all these years. All
Mhm.
I'm asking for is the same in return. And she's not saying that. And it's okay to say that. Like, you know what? I have my own business. I'm doing it for myself. Like, why can't you support me? There's nothing wrong with saying that.
So who's this man that Jen's referencing from the trunk show?
I have no clue. Well, we all kind of thought that she might have somebody on the side.
Mhm.
We kind of, because like you're not gonna let your significant other like see your phone. Like, I don't like that. But if you're that insecure, like, here you go,
Mhm.
and then you find what you find. I'm that kind of person.
Oh
W-
God.
Do I believe in like looking at other people's phone? No, not my thing. But if you are that insecure, let me help you out. This may not ease your, you may not like what you see, but here you go, enjoy. Let me
All
open it for
right.
you. Let me open it for you. Have at it.
Well,
See all the apps.
I'm gonna bring up Ebony Dix and a Blobby
Okay.
to the panel. Hello, Ebony and a Blobby.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey,
Hello.
Okay, so what were your thoughts on the episode of Blobby?
Meredith, you were correct. Filthy hair. Um, Jen, I said it on Adam's show and I'll say it again. I think Jen is mad because her husband has a side chick. And a little bit of this misplaced anger is to Meredith because she's openly getting another man and she's not. I
Hmm.
think Jen just needs some good Peter. That's all I think she needs.
Okay. And Ebony,
interesting.
what were your thoughts on the episode?
I do think that I don't know. I blame Meredith with this whole separation because she was the one who said that she wanted to be separated. And then we saw the next clip where the husband's like, I can't live without you. And if you're gonna go back with the way their religion, with the way that they were brought up, marriage is till death do us part. And so he's willing to do to death do us part. So I blame
Hello.
that she has a side piece, and I blame her for having a side piece because she should have been like to death to us part. So I feel like that with Meredith. But I think Jen is giving us everything. She's super extra with all her clothing, with all what's going on. That jewelry that she's wearing, Jen Shaw is extra. So I really think that she's giving us what we want to see in Utah. I
I don't
appreciate.
mind that. Oh, sorry, Ebony. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I appreciate it. Yeah.
I,
With the Brooks tracksuit, I think that when you're first time um going off your mom's, he said my mom helped me do all this stuff. I
Mhm.
think one tracksuit was good, maybe two, but he really only had like two. If you saw that, he kind of had one or two, and they just really weren't that exciting, but they were cute. But they weren't that exciting. But yeah, I think that if he continues to grow and do better with his designs, he can do better in the future. But I
Go back.
think that,
Go ahead,
sorry.
Ebony.
Oh, I was going to say, I just think that Brooks, he did the best he could the first time he could, and this was pretty good.
oh, come on, Ebony. Let's talk about it. Did them decals not look lifted? Come on now, work with me.
Yeah, but I thought that was the situation. That was what it was supposed to look like. Like it looked like it was supposed to come like flaps, like like on a truck, flaps from a truck. I thought that's
Oh,
what he was Please, looking for. okay. It's I
oh,
didn't think it was
Ebony.
cute. I just thought that's what he's looking for.
Oh,
Do
Ebony,
you
you
do
so
you have
nice.
this where you live? I don't know because I have it where I live. So the Amazon people wear the same thing, but it's blue when they go to deliver to you and it has the Amazon logo on it. That's where you got that from. Yep, he probably could have got that from Amazon, but it's still cute. It's all black. He came up with his mom. I'm telling you, it just look. It's all about you don't want to plagiarize, but you just want to follow someone else's footsteps. So Amazon's not the only like company that delivers people. There's also what do you got? eBay, all these other places deliver too. So I'm
Listen,
just putting it
I'm
out there.
for him. He could be the next male Fashion Nova with the tracksuit.
I mean, I'm sorry, I'm gonna disagree with you guys. I have more faith in She by Sheree than I do at Brooks at this point. I'm sorry. I'm mad. You cannot have your first fashion with decals. Iron on decals. No.
Jamal, don't be mad. Just do the same thing. And if he fails, just use the same template he uses.
But Jamal, let me just tell you, if he gave you that outfit to wear to support his company, you would wear it. So I'm just saying, it's not that bad looking. You would say,
No.
okay, I'll wear your merch.
No, I wouldn't. I would go to Walmart and buy me a black tracksuit and call it a day. I'm not wearing that. Not on purpose. Not on purpose. Now, if you want to pay me as a brand ambassador, that's a whole different conversation. I will wear it. Yes, as a brand ambassador. You paying me to wear it. Yes, I will wear it. So I can't. I mean, you could be on the sound. Let me hit up Brooks. Brooks, look.
But
Now,
listen, Jamal, would you rather wear that suit or anything in Mary's closet?
oh well.
I don't know how Mary has this. Mary has no humility. I don't know how people are liking her. She has no humility as a preacher. She's like, I'm done. But you're a preacher. You should always give people like chances over chance, like 77,000. You should always give people chances. Like she was like, I'm done. I'm not. And her faces are like, this girl, they're just crazy.
But we have to
I don't
remember
even.
though. Sorry, Emily. Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I don't know how. I get how she has a congregation who follows her because people sometimes overlook uh, behaviors they don't like. It's like, whatever, and they'll just look it over and they'll continue to follow because they like how you make them feel good. But as a pastor, as someone who is a leader of a church, a congregation, you're supposed to help people feel good and have humility. And she just didn't do that in the first couple episodes. So that's why I'm just done with Mary. I don't see how she has. I'm glad she only has 1 minute this episode. I'm happy.
With Mary, what it is like the people who are with her were with her grandmother as well, so they're holding on to. They're trying to hold on any part of her grandmother that they can. And then with Mary, we all have to realize that. Oh, I'm getting an echo on my end.
Oh, you are? Wait, I am hearing something as well.
Oh,
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 go
okay.
ahead, Jamal.
So we have to remember, allegedly, Mary has some substance abuse issues, which could explain some of her behavior, like her facial expression and stuff like that. So I could see like her oddities, but I agree with Ebony. She doesn't have any humility. It's like, come on, ma'am, work
Maybe
with
she has
me here.
Munchausen disease.
I don't know. It's because like for some reason I want to like Mary because she's different, but she makes it very difficult because she's petty too, and not in the good way. Like how Jen's super extra and petty.
Mm-hmm.
Mary's that petty, just like it's like that
Not forgivable petty.
aggravate. Yeah, it's like that aggravating kind of petty. It's not a fun petty. It's hard to explain. I
I
wish I could explain better.
I just want to give like props to whoever does Whitney's lipstick. Or I'm sorry, her lip gloss. I want that. Her lips always look glossy. Like that is expensive glossy. Like I don't know, where is that, like large on her lips? Like where is she getting that from? I'm loving it.
For her confessionals, that really 1950s glam pinup girl look is amazing. I'm fearful that one of her boobs might pop out, but other than that, she looks gorgeous. And whatever if she's had any injectables or improvements to her face, like, yay, they look good. I did see something online though where it seems like she looks like a Chucky doll, but I wonder if they did something to change up that still image, because
Photoshop.
in the video she looks fine.
Yeah, but Meredith looks really dry and bored, and she's so dry. She just makes like well, she makes paint crack. Meredith is so dry during her confessionals.
Yeah,
Well,
Mary,
she's
Mary,
trying.
what?
Well, no, I was just gonna say she's trying so hard to hold everything in and hold everything together and keep this
True.
facade up. That she is coming over very one-dimensional. Sorry.
Who are
I'm
you
trying
talking
to
about?
like her. Meredith.
Meredith is super boring.
I
Even
think it's
Courtney
because she's not letting us in. That's why.
Yep.
She's not speaking her truth yet.
And she's not going to because it's none of our business if she's an adulterer.
Then don't come on a reality show
Well,
that you're supposed to open
exactly.
up about your life. It's not just a product placement, there's a give and take. You have to tell us about your life, and in exchange we'll listen for a few minutes every episode about your company or your store or your brand or whatever.
Well, sorry, my dog. Charlie, behave. Here, come, chicken. Okay, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
No, if you were to see him, he's like the fluffiest little thing, and he thinks he's like a Dolman pitcher.
Well, you know what? Sometimes that happens.
I just think that this show is very slow, and like for a first season, it's kind of pathetic. Simply because like they had room to do whatever they want, because not many people know what happens in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I hate about this show? That Christian music they play in the beginning. Oh, it drives me nuts. With the
I agree with a lot of you. This show is very slow. I just said it's dragging. I'm not sure because I'm just so used to all the energy that other shows is giving me. This show is just taking me a long time to be like, what's happening? I feel like Jen Shaw's giving me a lot of energy. Even if it's fake or real, I don't know. But and Whitney too. Whitney's she's a gem.
Yeah.
And Heather's obviously your next door neighbor. So I don't know. It's taken time for me to connect with it. But I agree with you. It's just taking some time for me to be like, where am I at right now? But I think that Whitney's super cute, relatable. Her dad's story is relatable. Mary is
But
interesting.
do you remember the first episode, the Jen party episode, where there was a woman who was like, "Jen, it's your birthday, right?"
Sarah, that's Sarah.
I heard that from. She was originally supposed to be on the show.
I
I
heard
heard that
that
too. I
too.
heard that too.
She was supposed to be a friend of the show, and I don't know what happened because when we first saw who was going to be on the show, it wasn't this group of girls.
Can I ask, do we think friend of the shows are important people? Like, look at what Marlo has done because she's a friend of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Are they important to us?
The right,
Yes,
the right friends of
Mm-hmm.
the show. Yes, they
They
have
are
Yeah.
to be the
just
right friends.
Yeah, because Whitney was
because
supposed to
like
be a friend of the
I know
show
we're
and
going
she
to
got
talk
promoted.
toxic, but I really would have liked Gigi, the crazy one from Potomac, to be on the show because it would have just made a little bit more sense.
Because what's
Mm-hmm.
supposed to
yeah, I
happen
agree.
is the friends of the show, from what I gather, they're supposed to be actually extension of the housewife who brings them in. They're supposed to give them a little bit more insight to their life. Now, going back
Mm-hmm.
to Salt Lake City, here's my issue with Salt Lake City. I could be wrong. You have Meredith and Lisa, who are pretty much the same. They're calm and try to keep everything perfect. And then you have Heather, who's like the grounding force. You can't have three women all be calm. It doesn't work. And then they only have six wives. I always say you need seven. So those are my two main issues with the show. It is very slow, I have to admit. I need more life. Like Jen is over the top, a little over the top for me. I get it. I like her. I understand that Whitney's perfect. Stay the same. You're good. Mary, she. What happened with Mary is this: her storyline has fizzled. Her storyline has fizzled. There's nothing there. Like
Mm-hmm.
It's like the whole like there was no big reveal about the whole grandpa thing because we knew before the season. So it's like okay, there's no reveal. It's done. Like
Mm-hmm.
she's married her grandfather. Fantastic. Yay. What else is there? Now what I would want
And
to
he's still
see.
living, right? The
Yeah.
granddaddy's still living.
Right.
The
What I would
granddaddy
want.
is still living. So interesting.
But do you think
Imagine.
when Mary married him, she thought that he would be dead by now?
No.
Probably.
But here's my thing. Who you know who I would want to see on the show? I would love to see Mary's accountant on the show. Bring him on the show. Let's see the books.
Wait, who do you
Give
want to
me
see on the show?
either Mary's accountant or Mary's lawyer. Because I want to know. I want to see that will. I want to see them books. I want to see how many businesses the church is actually a part of that they're not paying
Mm-hmm.
taxes on. I
I
want to see
agree.
all
What is
that.
she doing? I'm with you. What is she doing to have four assistants? It's like, I think I
I'm
said this
telling
to
you.
a chatter. I was chatting with. I think it was some Wayne or Will. I can't remember who I was like, this person has four assistants. Like, what is she doing for a living?
Um,
Right.
I'm interested.
who?
I think they're
Jen?
just
Mary.
like, yeah,
Mary.
I think there is no, I thought it was Jen who had the four
Yeah,
assistants.
Jen.
Yeah,
Sorry, Jen has
Jen.
four
Yeah.
assistants.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
they're just people from the different, companies that she runs. And she just calls them assistant 1 through 4.
No. It's an MLM. So see, this is what I don't understand why Barlow pretends like she's so busy. When you run an MLM, it's basically a Ponzi scheme. So
Oh, Jesus.
basically, you have to sell to so many people, and the person up top gets the majority of the money. It's like very
Mm-hmm.
easy money to make if you could get enough
Okay.
suckers. So I don't
I didn't know what you were
understand.
saying. You were talking about that at an Adams show, and I didn't know what you were talking about. But now
It's
I see
called
what you're saying. Yeah.
multi-level
Yeah.
marketing.
You were seeing the
Mm-hmm.
Adams show. I didn't know what you were talking about, but now I do.
But so that's why I have to look at Lisa sideways with her always complaining, because her money comes from the MLM. The tequila company is a hobby. Because if you're giving 1,000 bottles away, you're not really doing business, are you, sweetheart?
She's just doing promotions or charity or something like that if you're doing that all the time.
Because I
So,
think she's like at the Austin phase, where maybe her tequila's in a couple of places.
mm-hmm.
But
Okay,
yeah,
well, girls, I'm gonna drop you two down. Stay, if you could stay in the background. I'm gonna bring up Queen Cascade and
Okay.
Pearl. And then we'll do final thoughts, okay?
Okay.
All right. I'll see you in a bit. Um, hello, Queen, and hello, Pearl.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Hello, good evening.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello. Okay, so did you guys get a chance to see Salt Lake City?
Yeah.
What were
Yes,
your thoughts?
my thoughts were that fashion show, right? That was
Mhm.
the latest episode, wasn't it?
Right.
Yes. Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So the part where Brooks comes out with, himself and
Mm.
his clones wearing the same outfit, like that part cracked me up so much because Jen was like, "Are they all wearing the same thing?"
She did not lie though. I'm like, why is Brooks walking military? They're jogging behind him. I just didn't
And
understand the concept.
the
I just didn't understand
jogging
the concept.
bit. The jogging bit was so funny. And then I'm sure like every single brand has that exact same outfit, the exact same style. Adidas has it, Nike has it, everybody has it. So where's the fashion, man? Like so that was
Mm,
funny.
It's the little name thing.
iron on
I
Oh
think
they're like
that's
God.
what he
iron
thinks
on
is the
decals.
fashion.
I don't care what nobody says. They were iron on decals. They were lifting as they were walking, and that's how I feel.
The jogging, it was almost like they weren't, it was so weird. It was like they were jogging, but they were almost like they were jogging on the spot, but they were moving at
Right.
the same time.
But they didn't want
And
they're like, okay, we gotta jog in place because you otherwise will go past Brooks. He walking too slow.
exactly. Yeah, and then Meredith's face. Oh my God, walking down that catwalk. She was like so serious.
Oh, she was giving face.
with that stupid hat
But yeah.
on.
But
Like
she was
that
giving
whole
face
Oh,
though.
outfit did not make any sense to me whatsoever. But then again, I'm not the most fashionista person ever.
it's because she didn't do any justice to it. That's it. That outfit was not made for her. It may have
Oh
been
no.
made by her, but not for her.
I just
Mm-mm.
don't know who to blame, the designer or her. Oh,
I mean, I blame the designer for putting her in that outfit. I'll leave it there because
okay.
it's not for her. Like the outfit needs someone with a little more oomph, and all she was giving you was face. So yeah, no, I blame the designer.
So was she just promoting her jewelry? Was it or
Yeah, she wore
Yeah,
her jewelry with the outfit. Yeah.
I like her jewelry.
okay?
Her jewelry's pretty good.
Hmm.
I'm not
Yeah,
mad at it. I mean, she should have done. She should have been in the fashion show, like for real. Let Brooks sew on his suit a little bit longer. Let her promote herself because his little
um,
line was a waste.
was
Oh
a
my
waste. Oh
God.
my! Did you guys
Queen.
talk?
Oh, go ahead, Pearl.
Sorry, I was gonna say, did you guys talk about Joburg already?
Who?
No,
Jo-
we have to do a little segment
Oh
on it.
yeah. Yeah.
oh, okay. That's
Queen, what were your thoughts about Salt Lake City?
I mean, on the fashion show, it left a lot to be desired. In some ways, I can understand why it left a lot to be desired because of the way that the fashion world is now. And in regards to Salt Lake City, it's a very, very small pond. I
Hmm.
don't know if
Hmm.
in regards to Brooks, his pieces seemed really like the basics that people probably want for their collections. I don't know. It's a
his
strange
piece,
one
one
because it's
piece.
like because there's a lot of snow and ice and things like that, I would have thought there would have been more inspirational things for him to work off and
Hmm.
do something that could be limited edition. But I don't know what the young people, you know what I mean? I don't know what the
Yeah.
young people are like out there in regards to fashion, if they're that connected to the internet and the world, like a lot of teenagers. Do you get what I mean? Because of the Mormonism and stuff like that. He obviously has an interest. I'd say good try on the effort for it, as it's his first pieces. Do you get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Hmm.
And hopefully he can do something that has, greater, I don't know what the word is now,
A
but
broader appeal.
yeah, that's it. But it depends if he
Mm.
wants the broader appeal because he could still do well doing something that's intricate and limited edition and
Mhm.
boutique like for
Yeah.
the kind of clientele that his mum's around. And if you really
Hmm.
looked at his mum's designs, and he might be able to find some inspiration in terms of, working with her alongside things. So there's room for
Mhm.
growth. He's still very young. He's a teenager. So we'll see.
Hmm.
And they say guys mature differently to girls in certain aspects. So he's got time to grow. He's in a different position, though, to a lot of teenagers that don't always have the financial backing of their parents to be
Mhm.
able to test drive those things. So I think it's a good thing as well in terms of business acumen, teaching him about business acumen, because sometimes that's what you've got to do with kids, find their interest, and it might not be a viable business in terms of profitery at this point in time, but in terms of teaching him business acumen and how to make money and the potential for him to take over parents' business in the future. There's still a lot for him to learn, but the skill is there if he's up to the job.
I'm gonna be petty right now.
Oh
So
God.
I'm on his website right now.
Okay.
He
All
has a
right.
website.
Yes. So it says the Brooks Mart hoodie is sold out,
Okay.
and the Brooks Mart sweatpants are sold out. But you
Yeah.
can buy a complete set for $124.
Oh, you just can't buy them separate.
Right, but how are you selling stuff? How you do? How do you run out? When you say sold out, that means you have no inventory. You got
Depends how
no
much.
pants. You got no pants, no hoodies, but you can sell out. Okay, thank you.
Look, my
And they
thing
said,
is, I'm gonna be
mm-hmm,
supportive. It was the first time he's ever done this.
mm-hmm,
Mhm.
Um, he used every opportunity available to him
Yep.
to get him this great opportunity. Kudos to him. He has a
Hmm.
whole year to do his next collection for the second annual show, and
Right.
let's hope he comes back with a bang.
Yeah,
I'll
that's
leave
what
it
I
at
And
that.
think. I agree
they
that
accept
he's
everybody. They accept everybody. Amex, Apple Pay, Diners Club, Discover,
Oh my
some
god.
some some ELO people, Google Pay, JCB, Mastercard, Shop Pay, Visa. They take everybody.
You're so
So
bad. Leave him alone.
I
Leave him
suppose it would just
alone.
depend how much stock that you had in the first place to sell, or whether it's just like a limited edition amount, and then once it sells out, that's it. Because that's how a lot of them create appeal to the wider masses. When you look at Yeezys, you look at Ivy Park, they'll
Mhm.
start off with a limited amount to draw people in. But like I said, his young is still got a long way to go.
A long way to
Uh,
go.
yeah,
Remind me of that Cassie song.
he definitely has a long way to go, but I feel like he needs a second chance to reintroduce himself, because I feel like if you're going to put yourself out there,
Mhm,
it should have like a certain pizzazz. You should work on it for a long time, and
mhm,
you should have more than one piece.
mhm,
I'm not happy about the one piece bit, but he is a teenager, and I will give him that, definitely. But I feel like he needs to do a comeback with, you don't have to have like a whole lot, but have like 4 or 5 different pieces,
mhm,
and just come back bigger and stronger, and not like your mommy just put you on there.
mhm,
you know Make a bigger statement for yourself. It's okay to sell
Mhm.
like a whole jumpsuit for 100 and whatever dollars, but
Right.
if you want to be taken seriously in the business, and you have to get off your mommy's back, and you have to find your own identity, and you have to just really kill it, because there's a lot of talented young people out there. And
But the
yes, he
thing is though,
definitely has,
oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
sorry, he
Flo.
definitely has like a bigger platform being on this show,
mhm.
and also having parents that have some money, so he definitely has more opportunities than the kid in design school trying to make it. But he go on. Yeah,
Well, after looking at it, where he went wrong is this: if I were a designer doing my first line, I would have done women's apparel due to the versatility. Men, we got shoes, we got pants, and we got tops. We are very limited. So had he done women's apparel in this style, I think it would have gone over much better because he had a wider range to work with.
I agree
I,
with that.
I thought that was kind of like unisex. I might be mistaken. And I also want to throw out a thought there for you guys. Okay, so he admitted to getting this opportunity through his mother. What
Mhm.
if they limited what he could show because he wasn't like the headliner of the fashion show?
Which
They
is
don't do that
possible.
though. They don't
What?
do that though. When it no, typically what happens if you're invited to be part of a fashion show, they don't limit the number of looks. They don't limit you that way because you're supposed. They want you to show your whole collection because
But
they're introducing you to the world.
he's I'm not meaning this in a mean way, but he's nobody. He is Meredith's son.
Mhm.
So maybe
Right.
it was part of the package deal to get her. They allowed him in and they said, okay, well, you could show one or two looks and
I can see. I
you
can see
get
that.
you get that.
I
I
can
I
see
get what you're
that being the
saying,
case.
Debbie.
But they showed someone else though. That's the thing. If they had other designers showing, I can understand that. If the other designers were getting like some publicity, but it was just Brooks. And if you're going to introduce someone to the fashion world really and do it well, you would
Mhm.
have wanted someone with more looks because that was just kind of a waste of space that another talented designer could have had.
But then
What
on
I
top
was
of it,
gonna
for me,
say,
Jamal, it's also about the presentation of everything, because in terms of the fashion show itself, the lighting and things like that, it didn't lend to the suits. I could see what he was visually trying to do with the backdrop, with the screen being white, which would make sense because when I imagined it myself, I thought actually on the ski slopes, the black against the white would show it up more. Do you get what I'm saying? But then
Yeah.
because of the way that the lighting was and the way it was kind of like marching band style, there was things that he could have done to separate in between the young people that were coming down and really showcase the pieces, put spotlights on the pieces, you know, do the whole twirling thing. But none of that really happened. It seemed really rushed.
But also, Debbie, he had what, 4 models? So he could have put 4 different outfits on each model if he had a whole range. So if I didn't see the point of wearing 4 people the same outfit, if he did have different collections, different items in his collection.
Yeah, it was actually him and 5 other people with him, and I don't understand why they didn't come out one at a time. They all came out in one little group, walking or jogging, whoever. I don't know. It just looked weird.
It's because they were all wearing the same thing. There's no point coming
Yeah.
out one at a time if you're just going to show the same thing.
And it did seem, I'm assuming that they had a bunch of different designers there that night. You know, designer A got the first 15 minutes, designer B got the second 15 minutes or whatever. I don't think we saw the whole thing. And if that was the whole thing, good luck to him.
Oh yeah, good luck. Definitely good luck to him, but it was still a waste of time. I mean, you did. I'm sorry, y'all could really have just put the sketch on the seat and been the same thing.
Do we know
Just
what
saying.
he's studying at university?
Lip gloss.
Probably like chemistry or something, or like intro to what, accounting. I don't know.
Oh, okay, because I thought he was probably studying fashion, and
Not with that.
I would have said he needs to go back and finish school, and get a bit more
Yeah.
skills.
Maybe if he enrolled at FIT, he can get to know the back end as well as the front end of the industry.
Because in Cheshire, what's her name? The one that has the Forever Unique brand in Cheshire.
Seema,
that's it. Because her son studied fashion in Milan or something, and he's sort of joined the business, and he's also showcased his lines, and he's just head and shoulders above, this mess we just saw. But like I said, he went to school, he trained his skills, he learned from people, and probably that's maybe what Brooks needs to do. Change his major to fashion if he's serious about it, because there's still a lot to learn, from learning about fabrics to patterns and things like that. And just being on TV is not enough. You need to put in the hard work. It's kind of like when Sheree tried to launch She by Sheree and thought that she could get someone to do it for her, and she got all those cheap materials and she had no fashion to show except the drawings at the end of it. So you need to put in the hard work to get the results in the industry.
Well, we have to remember is 17 years old, so it's up to him now at this point as a young man to either sort of like really delve into an interest, and depending on where his parents are at, and say, look, you're going to shadow us, you're going to follow us, or like you said, him stepping maybe out of Salt Lake and spending a little time in the other fashion worlds to be able to see and give him more inspiration for future designs.
So Brooks is 21 and attends NYU, but it doesn't say what he's studying.
I don't think NYU does fashion. He'd have to transfer over to FIT.
But then,
I mean, my thing is that if you're really gonna do designing and apparel work, you kind of need. I would suggest, you don't have to, because a lot of people don't. I would go to a fashion school. I think he should finish his degree at NYU where he's studying, and then go to FIT and really learn. If you really want to do it, do that. Like, he's still young. He's 21, so he has plenty of time.
But then hasn't he taken a couple of semesters out? Didn't she say, well, the thing that he's taken time out, he's taken a semester or 2 out to be able to...
All of her kids, she said all of her kids, she encourages all of her kids to take 1 semester off to give them a break. Yeah, because her oldest son he worked in London for a semester. Brooks is doing it now, and then the youngest Chloe, she's gonna take a semester off as well when she starts. So
Okay.
it's like something to do to give them a mental break.
I mean, he's in that world now to be able to make the links and contacts, and he's in a different position to a lot of young people that, you know, sometimes it's going viral or, you know, being in certain places. So he's in a very good position via his contacts from, you know, his mom and his dad's business and the women that are kind of around him to put himself in pole position. It's whether he chooses to utilize it or not.
Yeah, that's exactly right, because he's got the opportunity and he's got some money. He just needs to put in the, if he puts in the right work and
Mhm.
he does his homework and the background work, he has all the tools to succeed. He just needs to do his bit.
I think the other thing about when you're in a certain type of wealth bracket or rich bracket, it's not like us who are working class that, you know, we give ourselves a certain amount of time to be able to, you know, whether it's 5 years, 2 years, plan that out and then I'm going to move on. He's in a different kind of wealth bracket where not all parents will push them in that sense, because they've got that kind of wealth. They can take their time with it and really find a niche if that's what they're interested in.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Hold on. Annie J. She had an interesting comment here. Sorry. I think the storyline was more about his father not being there. What do you guys think about his conversation with his dad? I thought it was strained.
Yeah.
I thought they're being salty or a little bit pissy on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame the dad couldn't have been there. It would have been nice for him to be able to have been there for his son. At the same time, he did make an effort to kind of call. Do you
But
get
did
what I mean?
Meredith ban him from being there?
She banned him from. She said that she wanted space. As far as I remember, she was saying that she
Mm-hmm.
wanted space to work out what it is that she wanted. So ultimately, to me, in that statement, he might have taken it as, you know, let me just give them all some time. But at the same time, that doesn't negate the fact that he could be spending time with the son outside of the mother.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Fair.
Okay. All right. Um,
I had a horrible thought, which is not a nice thing to say, but I was just thinking his
mhm.
dad really didn't miss much.
Oh my God.
I know,
I
that's horrible.
mean, it's probably on YouTube. I mean, it was like what 15 seconds of Brooks walking and the others
Um,
jogging, and it was one look. I mean,
I think the
it's not.
other thing in regards to their relationship is the whole, because the dad's not around, it's
mhm.
like Brooks has taken that position as man in the house, and sometimes it's like two bulls carrying and a one pen. So
Yeah.
the dad being in and out of their lives and the way that that kind of meld with their school schedules and everything, and then obviously the son seeing other things behind closed doors with their
Mhm.
separation and other things, it can cause conflict. It's not always easy with children. You've got good months and bad months when you're getting on, and then they're going through puberty and everything else, and teenagehood and their worries and, you know, their journeys and things. So
Yeah. That's
But
a
Annie made a good point
that's a
though.
lot for, well, I just want to say, for putting Brooks in the man of the house position, I think that's a lot for him at his age. I don't think he's ready. Like, Meredith and Seth need to sort their self out so that their kids can play the kids role and they can be the adults and get on with it. Sorry about that, Jamal.
No, Annie made a good point. Dad said they looked like they were kidnapped or something. So he was just being petty just off the gate
He
though, because
was.
he's bitter that Meredith sent him away.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
And
I'm gonna
he just
bring
like and he
back
was
up. Mhm. Go ahead, Jamal.
but he would just shake them left and right. I was like, don't do that. You're like
Yeah.
your son is upset. Console him. Your wife is upset that you weren't there. Like, be nice. Like, I don't care how you're feeling. In that moment, you can be there for your son and or your wife. So just say like, my apologies. You know what? Due to XYZ, I had to be there. But I also feel Meredith is not being fair to Seth because she needs to talk to her children like, look, your father and I are having problems. Like, we're trying to work this out to save our family. I asked
Mhm.
him to give me space. This is why he's not here as much. She's not telling her kids that, and it's painting a bad picture for her children. And it's making them pick a side. And they're probably going to pick her side because they're feeling like, well, he just doesn't want to be here. And that's not fair to him.
But Jamal, she wasn't feeling bad that Seth wasn't there. She was feeling bad because she has not told those kids the truth about what's going on in their parents' marriage. And that's
Fair.
what she was
Yeah.
feeling bad about.
She should. And she definitely should, because you're making him be out to be the bad guy. He didn't really want to leave, but he felt like he had to
Mhm.
leave, and then you told him like, I need my space. So don't let your children walk around thinking like their dad doesn't want to be there.
Mhm.
True.
Okay. I'm going to bring back up Ebony for a little bit. Hey, Ebony, did you have any final thoughts? Because I saw you commenting.
I know.
Did you have any
I'm
final
in the
thoughts
middle of
on
writing
this?
something. No, I I think I was gonna say I think we're giving Brooks way too much. We're giving him a high bar. He's just starting. He's 19, and everyone can look up people who have sold their company over and over again. Coco Chanel sold her company to somebody. Calvin Klein, Karl Lagerfeld bought Coco Chanel. So these are just beginnings. So we just can't be like, oh, well, he should have did this. He should have did that. These are just very
Carl didn't
beginning.
buy. I don't wait. Sorry, I don't think Carl bought Chanel. I think he was head designer, and then he also had his Karl Lagerfeld line. But I don't think he was the owner of
I
Chanel.
thought he did. Okay. Well, I thought he did because I just looked it up just now.
Oh,
But with that being said, you understand what I'm saying. I'm not trying to
yeah,
say
yeah,
that
yeah,
they
yeah.
were. It's a name being together.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I thought he did. I'm wrong about that. If I am wrong. So
No,
I have
I
to look
could be
up again.
wrong too. I could be wrong too, because
But
these
yeah, but
companies
I'm just
flip
saying that
hands a lot.
these names are just small names, and so these small names
Mm-hmm.
get bought. You can't. I mean, Calvin
Mm-hmm.
Klein didn't have all these lines. He bought people's designs. So let's just say that Brooks sold his design to somebody, and there it goes. So I'm just not trying to give him this big spotlight. He did what he did. It was a very small Sundance fashion show, and he did the best he did the best what he could work with.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but yeah, I don't think that was it. I do think that the storyline was supposedly about him connecting with his father, and he just gave
Mm-hmm.
his father shade. He was like, "Yeah, thanks, Dad." Well, he didn't say Dad. He was just thanks. You should be saying this. You'd be saying that. Like I could never tell my mom, my mother, or father what to say.
I
I mean, I
but
You
could
know what,
think it, but not just say what to say.
I think that was a back and forth though. Go ahead, Jamal.
Ebony? I think what it is, if Meredith had told her kids the truth, he wouldn't have that attitude towards his father. If the kids knew the truth, he would not have. He would have
Yeah.
understood, and he wouldn't have acted that way. But since he doesn't know why his dad's
Yeah,
really
I
not
agree.
there, he's
Mm-hmm.
reacting the way like any kid would react. I would probably react that way if I didn't know what was going on. I would just be like, "Well, you're not here. You know it's important to me. Why aren't you not here?" So I don't blame the whole back and forth. And then
Because we're professionals, that's the truth. You're right.
on Seth's side, I get where he's coming from, but in this particular instance, you need to be the father, the adult, and be like, "Hey, my apologies. I wish I could have been there. You know, the next time I'll do better." Don't go back and forth with your child, because you should understand your child's basically upset because you're not really there, and be more understanding. Don't do the back and forth thing. And then when you talk that conversation over, you talk to Mary to be like, "Look, you need to talk to our children and let them know what's going on, because it's not fair to me that I'm looking bad in the situation when I'm doing what you asked."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm gonna get going, but I'm thanking Queen for her hair tutorial right now, so we can have
Sorry.
more lights, so we can all see what's happening. And I'm looking forward to seeing Jen just get messier. I want to see it because I just want this to be. I want this show to revive. Give me some life. Anyway, I thank you guys for just being great, big commentaries, and I'll see you guys again.
Okay,
Bye, Ebony.
dear.
Can I just
Bye.
mention for a moment? Sorry, what's her name? Ebony?
Yeah.
Bye, Ebony. I liked this episode, seeing Heather sit down with her daughters and have that conversation.
Mhm.
I'm interested to see her journey as she moves forward and how she progresses. And I don't think a lot of people, well, some people may, also some people may not understand what it is to sit down and try and have those truthful conversations with your daughters or your children when you've come from a different generation where you didn't really have a voice. So I'm interested to see, her continue to open that realm with her children, and how it how they maneuver moving forward with the situation with the church. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I want to see her like take her shackles off. I want her to develop as a woman raising young ladies. And I don't want her to pass on I don't want her to pass on those, oh sorry, I'm smacking my mouth just now. I don't want her to pass on those shackles to her kids. I want her to like pass on like life is limitless to her kids, because I feel like she's almost imprisoned by 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 the Mormonism.
Yeah.
It's a shame. She's a nice gal. I want to see her grow.
And you could hear it from what the daughters were saying, the oldest daughter. And I think she is trying, and this is a good step in having, you know what I mean? It's not easy to kind of have those conversations and put your vulnerability as a parent because of the way that your children look up to you. And sometimes put you on that pedestal. So being real and that raw and that open, and then it's kind of trying to find the balance within not putting all your emotions and feelings as a parent and guarding the safety and the thought processes of what your children are also dealing with, as because they're teenagers as well, who are very impressionable. So it's like balancing plates with cherries with it, with sometimes with teenagers. So yeah, I'm happy that she seems you could see the relief in her face after having the conversation and the daughter's responses. So it was nice.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful moment.
Okay, well, okay. So I think we've done everything with Salt Lake City. Do we want to just dip very quickly into Johannesburg?
Can go ahead. I'm gonna drop down because I haven't got onto Johannesburg. I'm interested to watch it, but yeah, I'll be
Oh,
catching
okay.
Christmas view on that.
Merry
Bye, Queen. Merry
Christmas.
Christmas.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Yes, my little pearl. We're on episode 4, Apology Gone Wrong. And
All right.
what a perfect title, because Crystal made me so angry in this episode. I've never encountered a person so unwilling to be wrong, to hear other points of view, to understand how what comes out of her mouth might impact others. Like, know your audience. She scares me. Like, I feel like there's going to be some sort of physical thing with her. I'm sorry, but that's it. She's a mess.
Yeah, Crystal is, I think the whole thing with the flies from the last episode, that was so rude. Where she said, oh, all the people brought the flies into her house. I mean,
Yeah.
listen, I hate physical violence of any sort, but she's the kind of person that makes you want to smack somebody. You know, it's like, honestly, like, you talk about someone deserving like a smack. Crystal is the most deserving of them all because she really, really crosses the line. And then, oh, I can't even remember. Can you just run through like this episode?
Well, basically, the women are basically talking about the aftermath of Crystal's dinner. Crystal decides that Naliti was the only one who was on her side, so she invites her over, hoping to cement her on her side. But Naliti thinks that she's dead wrong. They get into a verbal sparring match where Naliti said, I don't talk over people because I expect them not to talk over me so that they can hear what I'm saying because I listen to what other people say. And she tried to explain it to her, and Crystal goes off on her and says, basically, if you're not on my side, get out. Um, Mercy gives Madame a gift of sex toys. Madame visits Lendy, who has been sick, because I didn't even realize she didn't go to the to Nalidi's mother's birthday trip. But she's getting ready to leave for Kenya soon, but she wants to do a braai before she goes away. There was a scene with Christelle and her son where she's teaching him horseback riding, and then she puts him to bed and they pray. So phony. Lendy shows photos to Madame of her pageant girl
Oh yeah.
history. And Madame is like, what happened to you? Why'd you let yourself go? And then Lendy has says something about how her mom is sick and there's some generational issue with that. Brunette is getting her second wedding dress, the white one, done by a top designer. So she was on her fourth fitting. Madame offers to take Lendy for a facial, which Lendy then no shows on. Madame was pissed. Let's see what else happens. It's the night of the braai at Lendy's house, which Lendy asked Madame to invite everybody because that was just too difficult for her to do. She couldn't use her phone. She probably left it in the car or something. And then Cristal, Madame, to her credit, Madame and Mercy did not want to bring this up. They just wanted to have a nice barbecue at Lendy's house. But Cristal gets at it and starts screaming at this woman's table. Inappropriate. Towards the end of the dinner, Brunette tries to take Mercy and Cristal to talk it out, while Lendy stayed with Madame to try and talk it out. Cristal apologizes to Mercy. Mercy accepts and says that she will try to talk to Madame. And that was it.
Yeah.
It was a good episode, but Cristal again was the primary agitator in this episode. Like, she just doesn't accept that she's wrong.
Right.
No.
She was
And I
rude. She
skimmed.
was insulting.
I skimmed through it. I apologize.
Mhm.
But I got the gist of the episode. I was just like, why are you talking? Just stop talking. If you're not gonna say I'm sorry and mean it, don't talk. It's easier for everybody.
But that's Cristal from start to finish. She doesn't change. That's
Mhm.
exactly, she offends you and then she defends herself. That's her whole MO. But I guess that's the kind of drama that keeps people watching and talking, because she's one of the only two that returns the next season.
Right? Her and Burnett. Her and Burnett.
Oh, and she gets even, oh my god, in the second season, can't wait for you guys to get it. She gets even messier and gets herself into more trouble in the second season as well. But
I can see
I
that
don't
with her
see
because
how.
I can.
You really?
Yeah, just
Who's
like but
cruising for a bruising right now?
because like people like that who never think they're wrong, plus they want to say and aren't cognizant of other people's feelings or the room. They're always like something always happens. It's always worse than what happened before. You're like, we told you about this, but you told them about it, but they just didn't listen to you. They don't listen. That's why she really is like Kim Zolciak 5.0, if we're really thinking about it. Cause Kim
So
would say
wait a minute.
problematic stuff all the time.
What do you think about what Tony's asking? Do you guys think that Cristal thinks she's better than the others?
I do.
I think that Crystal wants you to think that she's better than the others, but I don't think she has that much self confidence. Like,
Mm.
in a way, I think that she's just like, because she doesn't really have any friends, she's trying to fit in. I think she's really trying to fit in the high class, the high society class of people
Mm,
because voila, I have a big house and stuff, but she's got no cash. Right. So I think she just
mm.
wants you to think she's something that she's really not.
Oh, she fronting.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's it.
There's
Yeah.
something
Gotcha.
not adding up with her though. There really is, and she, yes, she has the big house, but I think you've hit the point there that I think she is cash strapped
Yeah.
because even in her tagline, like she's like, I had to work really hard. I thought you married for your money.
Giving an 8-year-old a BJ every night is working really hard.
And my whole
Getting
thing
a
is this:
great.
if you're the one with the money, you should not be working. I'm just saying. You're talking about her former husband? Yeah, like that's work. I mean, it's not a call job for nothing. I mean, women out there like $60, and hey,
Exactly. It's a job.
Well,
It's hard
doesn't
work.
she know, like, just decrease the amount of oxygen that he's getting till he goes to sleep and then leave the room? Then you don't have to
Oh,
do the dirty work.
but her husband's younger now. She married someone younger. I think her ex husband, her first ex husband was older.
But is the first husband attracted to her? He doesn't look like he's attracted to women.
This is the second husband.
This is the second Eddie.
Yeah, he's the second.
Yeah,
here's the
right.
second one.
But he doesn't. I don't see him as being attracted to women.
You know what? I thought the same thing when I first saw him. I'm like, is that her husband? Are you sure? But I see
Hmm.
what you're saying, Debbie. Definitely.
Yeah, he like the few moments he was on the screen. eh, Okay,
He
never
loves the
mind. I'm
money.
not gonna go down that road.
He loves the money. He don't love her. He loves the
Hmm.
money. That's what that is. Let's call a thing a thing. He loves the money, and he probably has like a side piece or two on the payroll with her money.
Yep.
But
That's why he's telling her to be careful with how she spends it.
Yeah.
He wants half of it.
because
Well,
he
I also thought he was telling her to be careful with the money because there's not that much there to be careful with.
yeah, that's what
Exactly.
no.
She's
He said
running out.
he stays on that money. Like, do you really need that? Like, why are you spending
Mhm.
so? Well, it's my money. I'll do what I want. I'm like Eddie.
Mhm.
Make sure you have the allowance savings on point. Whatever she gives you, you save. I'm telling you, because when it runs out, you can get up out.
What
This
is
is
the male
another
version?
this is another question that I had. The little boy, Luke, something like that.
I thought his name
Is
was
that for her
Nikki.
for the husband or the son, her son, Crystal's son? Is that
It's
for her
Eddie's
first
son.
husband? Oh,
No, it's
that's
Eddie's
Eddie's
son,
son?
isn't it? That was what I. That's what I thought.
That's what I gathered
Yeah.
due to the child's age, but he don't look like neither one of them, in my opinion.
He what?
He doesn't
He
look like
doesn't
either
look
one
like
of them.
Crystal, but he might look like Eddie. He doesn't look like Crystal.
Mm-mm.
That was a sperm transfer deal, right? Like they didn't actually have intercourse?
But
Oh
like,
my
yeah,
god.
back to
I'm
but my
so
thing with
confused.
Cristal is my whole thing, Miss Ma'am, sell that house, buy a nice smaller house, and have a good chunk of change in the bank. You trying to out here on Front Street with this big old house and no liquid assets is not a good look.
Yeah.
Or turn it into a country club, like I said, and then still buy the little house and go live there, but just
Yeah,
turn that into a country
Or she
club.
can convert one of the stables into like a little, more manor or something like that. Like, oh, like how they
yeah,
did on I Love a Mama's Boy, convert
that
the
makes sense.
garage.
That
Uh,
makes sense
yeah,
because having a big old house, there's no point in having an outdated big old house. Just sell
Hmm.
it.
yeah.
Um, what did y'all think of Mercy giving her mom all those sex like DS what is it? Dominatrix accoutrement?
I thought it was hilarious, and between those two, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Between those two,
I,
it makes sense.
I
it
don't
was
know.
cringy. Like I would never even dare to do that to my mom. No
For
chance.
real. I
No chance.
couldn't do
My mom would be like,
that.
she'll be shocked at the fact that I even have that stuff in my possession, let alone give it to her. Like,
Or worse yet, she did it in the middle of a busy restaurant. Like my mother would be like, "Oh my God, who saw you with this? Why would you do this to me and embarrass me in front
Right,
of like all
exactly.
of these strangers?" That I I thought it was
but
like a blouse or something.
but
Good
Madame was here
Lord.
for it. But it was funny. Madame was here for it.
Who was she gonna use that on? Who's
Her
her
boyfriend.
boyfriend?
She's got a
She
boyfriend.
got a boyfriend. She has a
Have
younger
we seen
boyfriend.
him? Right,
Yes,
she's referenced him, but I don't remember seeing him.
We
we
saw a
get to
photo.
see him. We see him at some point. Well, we don't see him, but we see clips of him. That makes
Wait, is
sense.
he actually like
Yeah.
interacting and moving and talking, or is it a picture of him?
No, they were all playing a game together, I think. She, Madame,
Oh,
and her boyfriend. Um, no, we
I
do
mean,
see him,
she
but
has to use. Sorry, she
briefly.
has a. Sorry, real quick. She has to. She has to have a boyfriend because Madame can use all them toys by herself. I mean, obviously, Mercy knows what's going on. Just saying.
oh God, something horrible just went through my head. Do you think they do a throuple with the three of them?
No,
What? With Madame and her daughter?
no,
Yeah.
Oh my God, no.
no,
Okay.
No.
no.
I can't see that. No.
You hear about weird stuff like that, but with them, no.
No, I don't think so.
'Cause I don't think her boyfriend's
Okay.
vegan, so Mercy can't be around that. Sorry.
But yeah, Madame's boyfriend really throws down a big present for Madame. I don't know what episode that is, but he's definitely around. He's definitely around. And but yeah, no, I
Okay.
think that it just showed there because Madame is so desperate to be young.
True.
Hence why
Mm-hmm.
she cakes on the so anything that makes it seem like she's, you know, in with the young gals of, you know, her daughter's she tries to be friends with her daughter's friends and things like that. She wants to be cool mom. So if she thinks that makes a cool mom, she'll go along with it.
Okay. All right.
I
Is
think
there anything else that stood out in this episode for you guys?
not for me.
Yeah, the
Well,
the only thing that stood out for me was Crystal.
well, I just want to say, like with Lendy, I feel
Mm-hmm.
like Lendy is kind of like super real in the sense that if you were to go to like Africa and see like an average African mom, you know,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't have
Hmm.
layers and layers and layers of makeup and Versace and
Mm.
stuff like that. She doesn't really
Mm-hmm.
care that much. She's got a house to run and everything else and children to
She's like
visit around the world. So she's
she's like the cool
so,
aunt. She's like that cool aunt to me. That's what the vibe she gives,
yeah,
like that cool aunt. You go to her house and she got like all the food. Like she's
She
like the
wasn't
real.
exactly.
that, but she wasn't that cool to that servant in her house. She screamed at him because there were no drinks on the table. And
And
I
I hate
think
to
I think Madame or somebody had to step in and say, it's okay, we just got here, kind of thing.
yeah, that was messy.
But didn't she say like they were like they're her family or something like that? How are you gonna be
Right.
like
But you know what? It's
mm,
not uncommon like in Africa in sense that people, even though people scream at you,
mm-hmm.
they do it out of love, they say,
I've heard
sort of
that.
thing.
I've heard that. Like
Yeah.
my sorry, my coworkers, her mom used to do that. I'm like, oh, I get it. She's all like, I'm like, I get it. She's like, yeah, we do that. I'm like, yeah, I grew up in my school with a couple of kids, a part of Nigerian families, and their moms were like, blah 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 blah. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
until I
Yeah.
realized, like, I'm like, oh, this is normal. I got you. I understand.
It's actually normal because what it is that the person receiving it wouldn't take it that seriously,
Hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
know. So it's kind of like because the same person that's screaming at you will sort of come around and, you know, give you gifts, ask how your family is, help your family out, pay their medical bills. So they're still really, really kind, but they just kind of, it's kind of a thing where we scold people to make them better, if
Right.
that
Okay.
makes sense.
Like,
So
yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
so yeah, it's quite common for people to talk to their children, their staff in that snappy way, and then you come back again and hug them and stuff like that. So it's not that deep. I guess they were just I when I watched that, I felt like the girls were all embarrassed because I think they think Lendy forgot that there was a whole camera crew
Yeah,
in the
Ah,
kitchen.
you could
So I
tell. You
don't
could
okay.
think
tell.
So
so.
wait a minute. If Cristal did something like that, would it be the same?
No, because again, if Crystal was doing that to a bunch of white staff, that would be fine, whatever. But if she's doing that to a whole bunch of
Ah,
like
okay.
Native African staff, then that's gonna bring back the whole racism thing that's
Okay.
still on the surface.
Okay. All right. Gotcha. Gotcha. Oh my God. I guess Gatatua has finally fallen asleep. I hope she has a wonderful Christmas because it's already Christmas for her. Pearl, I don't think it's Christmas for you yet, but
Not
Merry
yet.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And everyone in the chat, everyone who watches, please have a wonderful holiday season. Please be safe, and we shall see you soon.
Bye,
See you
guys.
soon.
See you
Bye,
soon.
guys.
Bye.
Have a good Christmas.